Herbalife Asia Pacific, welcome to the fourth session of Diamond Development Mastermind. Please welcome our Chief Executive Officer, Stefan Graziani.
Hello, everybody in Asia Pacific Diamond Development Mastermind. Well, listen, first of all, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. I know that these calls are really important as leaders in helping you to design your business to achieve the maximum output and outcome for yourselves. It's incredible what's happening with the company. Obviously, many of you are aware that we are in the process of developing a new platform, which is going to be launching in the United States at Extravaganza in a beta. And just so everyone knows, the goal for us is to bring this platform around the world as quickly as possible. So there's so much that's happening here locally to really build the future for us all. And at the same time, the Diamond Development Mastermind started recently in Asia Pacific. We just had our third call and session, which was the last session, where you had an opportunity to have Rob, Queenie, and also listen to the interview with Dan and Claire. And it's really important because in Herbalife, around the world, the business fundamentally is the same. And yes, each market is a little bit different. Culturally, the products, it could be also economically, demographically, but fundamentally, it is the same business everywhere. This is about creating a business and a flow that attracts customers, brings customers into your flow, brings new distributors into your flow, duplicates, right? Creates loyal customers, duplicates, builds recruiting, qualifies supervisor, duplicates building of an organization so that each one of you can grow. And remember, Diamond Development Mastermind, developing yourselves into president team members and developing people within your organization to become president team members. And so just a really quick recap, if you think of the last session and the information that you heard from Dan and Claire, really what you took away was that they have something that's designed, and it's like everything that they do serves a purpose. And they have an outcome for everything that's part of their business. They have a plan for everything that's part of their business. They've got a duplicatable process, something that they can teach to people, that they understand what they need to do to be able to have the business flow work. And the whole goal of this is to understand the importance of having a good business flow and what goes into a good business flow and the parts that need to be there. Because if your goal is to attract customers, convert customers into loyal customers, to have distributors joining from your customers and from people looking for an opportunity, to duplicate a business and a model and a flow so that they can become supervisors themselves, build organization, build a royalty check, and ultimately this helps you build your organization and royalty check. All of this happens through a business flow. And the better, most optimized business flow that you have, the quicker the duplication comes. And, we were just together at Extravaganza. All of you, I'm sure you were there during one of the 2 weekends. And we talked about this concept of builder versus architect, right? So many people come into the business and someone gives them a plan and they say, do this plan. And people start to build following a plan. And they build to wherever they get to. Get team, maybe millionaire team, maybe president team, maybe 20K, maybe 2 diamonds, maybe 3 diamonds. But what happens over time is the market will shift. The way consumers buy products, or the competition that's out there, the opportunities and the business opportunities that exist. So if you're going to be long-term in Herbalife and you're going to build to achieve high levels, not only do you have to know how to be a builder, but you have to also know how to become an architect and an engineer, because the environment that you learned to build your business on 10 years ago is different than the environment that you're building your business on today. And it'll be different than the way you build business in 5 or 10 years from now. So being a builder, and a good builder is one thing, but being an architect and also an engineer and knowing how to change how to build based on the environment and the moment you're building is very important. So the Diamond Development Mastermind, part of this is not just motivating you to go build, not just saying go do more, or work to become a preferred, or a Herbalife Premier League, qualifier. It's not just to put a carrot in front of you and motivate you. It's to educate you about not only what you need to do to build, but how you need to architect and design and engineer your business. And so, part of the homework was to actually go and do the survey on business flow. And I can tell you that not everyone participated and did the survey. And so your success ultimately, and you gaining the skills and educating yourself, it's going to be fundamental for your future success. So we have designed this for you to participate. We can bring you the content. We can bring you the training. We can bring you the masters, the ones that are mastering designing and engineering and architecting and building, and we can bring the information to you, but how you take the information and then how you leverage the Diamond Development Mastermind for yourself, that is going to ultimately tell you how good of an engineer you're going to become, how good of an architect you're going to become, how good of a builder you're going to become, because we're bringing you the things based on the inputs that are needed. And so, many of you did come back and you did the survey, but many of you did not. And so the question to ask yourselves is, what was missing for you not to complete the survey? Was it that you didn't take the time? You were so busy working and building that you didn't take the time to do it? Was it that you thought it's not that important? I have a good business flow, or I'm just going to get information. I don't need to give information. I don't know, but what I would tell you is full participation for yourself, for your organization, for your future, and full participation for your accountability groups. Because again, you're getting scored individually. Your accountability groups are getting scored also. There's a gamification part to it. So play full out. But what's really interesting is of everyone that participated, and some countries and some teams did better. You're going to hear about it later. Okay. Really, we started to get some information. So I want to share this with you because out of everyone that participated, these are the findings for all of the participants that filled out the business flow survey. And these are the things that we're learning. And this is really important because the business flow is really important. And the parts to the business flow and what's missing is important for you to know, because these are the blocks, the building blocks of your business. This is what's designed to work. It's like having a house where the plumbing is not designed well, or the electrical is not designed well. And how can it work? Is the water going to flow to all of the bathrooms? Are you going to have the right amount of flow? Is there going to be enough water in the shower? Is there going to be enough electricity? Or when you plug in something, you didn't do the electricity right and you can't, it blows the circuit when you plug in the electrical outlet something because it wasn't designed right or was missing something. Like you pulled all of the wires to all the electrical outlets, but you didn't connect them at the box where the electricity is coming in, so you don't have power in the house. Like this is the importance, and I use the analogy because this is the importance of the design of something, right? Having all the pieces there. And so if we can put up this slide just for everybody, these are the findings of the Asia Pacific Business Flow Survey. So number one, 79% of participants, they've got a follow-up system. That's great. The question is, how effective is the follow-up system? Are you using the same follow-up system that was taught 25 years ago, where you call on day 1, day 3, day 7, day 14, day 21, and you teach people that's what they should do, and then you hope that they do it, and that's your follow-up system? Or do you have a different follow-up system? Do you have a system because you have a club and every customer comes in and once a week or in their flow, if they're in a challenge or they're doing something, you have them doing the follow-up in the club? Is that part of your system? So good thing is 79% have a follow-up system of those people that filled out the business flow survey. But here's the question. What about the other 21%? They don't have a system. So if you don't have a system for follow-up, then you have people falling through the cracks. All the customers are not going to get the best results. You're going to lose more people than those that have a follow-up system. 78% have a referral system. Now, here's the question. What does your referral system look like? Is it like Dan and Claire's referral system, where they have like every step has a part of referrals? Or is the referral coming after 21 days when you ask for the referral? Or does the referral start with when you start doing the wellness evaluation and you ask for the referral up front? Or does the referral start even before the invitation to come to a customer experience or a wellness evaluation or a workout or something? So a referral system is one thing. Do you have the best, most optimized referral system and most complete referral system? My guess is that Dan and Claire's referral system, compared to most people, is designed and probably has more referrals because of the way it's designed than the average referral system. 31% don't have a formal training system. So what does that mean, a formal training system? Like, how do you train and make sure you have duplication and that everyone is doing the business flow the way they should be doing it if there's no formal training system? So the question is, what is a good training system? What are the training systems that people are using? How are they using training systems, right? And so, but still 31%. So 69% of people, right? The question is, what would happen if you had a formal training system? Would it mean distributors would be more productive? The distributor retention, the supervisor retention, the duplication, the organization growth could be better if you had a better training system, or you at least had a training system. So these are the types of things we could just go off of this. I mean, think about this. If we just think about if we were analyzing all of the training systems and we actually on the mastermind said, okay, we're going to do one mastermind session on training systems. And let's talk about the types of training systems that exist and the people that are having the most successful training systems and have the most royalty growth and the most duplication. And we just presented training systems and gave you all these ideas about how you could have training systems for your business. Would that be valuable? Would it be also valuable to do the same thing and present all these referral systems? Would it be valuable to do one session on follow-up systems? So you can start to see that there's value in this information, and there's value in knowing that maybe in your business and in your flow, you're missing some things and you could be getting better results, faster duplication, faster royalty growth, more production by having a better system. So 60% have systems that convert customers into long-term preferred customers. How many of you would find that valuable? Like, what are the systems? If you've got a fit club, what are the systems? If you've got a nutrition club, what are the systems? If you're doing challenges, what are the systems? So you can start to see how this information and having the group, and especially the accountability groups, and having the data as a company to help formulate and learn what's needed. Now we know that people need to know what kind of training systems there are, right? So 66% say they have systems that convert customers into distributors. That means there's 34% they don't have a system, or they've got a system that they feel like is not really optimized. And so, this is the importance, and this helps us as a company. This is one of the objectives of the Diamond Development Mastermind, is for us to get the information so we can go and say, hey, we need to now find the masters, the people that have the best results, because in the Asia Pacific Diamond Development Mastermind, this is what we're learning, is people don't have enough systems. to convert customers into distributors, or they've got a system, don't have one, or what they have could be improved, right? Interesting. 66% have systems to convert distributors into supervisors. The question would be, what is the system? Is it trainings? Is it a nutrition club? Is it a model? It's part of the model built in, part of the flow built in. Is it organically happening naturally because of the way the business flow works? Like, what are the systems? 71% have some type of supervisor support structure. What does that mean, a supervisor support structure? Is that a WhatsApp group or a line group that someone has where all their supervisors are in there and they're giving some information? Like, what does it mean, a support structure? And so I share this with you because this is part of the design of the Diamond Development Mastermind, is for us to bring you information. Tonight, you're going to get more information. You're going to hear from one of the masters of really developing business flow and systems. And so you're going to have a chance to get more training, more perspective, more information, because now we're seeing, and we knew this because of our experience in all of the other markets, customer, distributor, business flow, system, duplication, model flow. Your results are going to be based on how effective it is and how complete your flow is. And this is one of the biggest gaps that people have. They've built with whatever they've known how to do, but they need to know how to architect and engineer and to build and to have a good design. And because the business changes over time and the models change and the market changes and the competition changes and the opportunity changes, you've got to always be knowing what you need to do. And one of the most beautiful things in the world is that we have, in all of these 95 markets around the world, we have many different types of models and people and leaders doing different things that actually allow for us to bring this training and information and help people. And part of this is the long-term design. I will tell you that this is new. We've been doing this like since the beginning of the year in Asia Pacific. We've been doing it in the United States. Now it's going to be in August, it'll be, so 10 months. We're going on almost 1 year. But we're starting to see, like in the United States, those in the Diamond Development Mastermind, they're recruiting and qualifying supervisors and duplicating is far and beyond what the average person is doing that's not in the Diamond Development Mastermind. Why? Because they're learning about business flow. They're learning and they're having this peer group and this structure and accountability, and it's something that's helpful for them to go and to build. And so this is really important. I know it's a new structure. I know that, a lot of times you're so busy working and have so much that you have to put your attention to, your customers, your distributors, your meetings, your nutrition clubs, your events. Like, it's a lot. And I know for some of you, this commitment to be a part of the accountability group, to be dialed in and be with us, every 6 weeks or so, to take on new education and learning and to do homework, right? Like, hey, let's get your business flow survey done. It is something that you've never had to do before, but also it's very valuable for you having and doing it, and also for us as a company to be able to bring you the people that can share with you and help you to learn, get a new perspective, be supported in implementing so that you can produce better results for yourself. And so tonight, it's kind of an exciting night also, because as we look at all of the participants and we look at the participation across the Diamond Development Mastermind, we can see who's participating and who's not. We are seeing how active the peer groups are, how many conversations are started. We know who's doing the homework, who's not doing the homework, which countries, where they're at, which groups, where they're at. We're tracking all of that. And we're not tracking it so that we can, we're not your boss. This is just the support of the company, because that's part of our commitment, right? Is to support you the best that we can, to bring you what you need to be as successful as possible. And this is new for us. Like the Diamond Development Mastermind didn't exist until this year in Asia Pacific, until last year in August for the United States. This is not a 1 month or a 1 year program. This is an ongoing mastermind program to help this level of leadership to learn to grow beyond where they've ever been before. And so, this is important. So we have got a couple tonight that's going to share their story. It's pretty extraordinary because their level of participation and the value that they're getting from the Diamond Development Mastermind, it shows you what can happen when you actually commit and you participate full out. And I just want to say that there's cycles in business. You can't be in the business for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years without cycling and having high points and lower points and creating new momentum and having moments where you've got like on fire and other moments where, you seem to be going backwards. The question is, what's your commitment now? And can you get value from the Diamond Development Mastermind by playing full out, by participating for yourself, for your organization, for your peer group, for your country, for the region, and for the future? And so we've got an incredible couple, a millionaire team couple from Thailand. They are doing an amazing job in participation. So I'm going to hand it over to them. They are going to share their story. They're going to introduce a real master in business flow. Many of you have heard of her before. She really is someone that is probably one of the most knowledgeable people. But let me hand it over to millionaire team members, Kuket Isaranya from Thailand. Amazing story. Thank you guys for being here tonight and for sharing. And thank you for playing full out. So let me hand it over to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. Good morning, APAC.
ค่ะเดี๋ยวเราจะแนะนำตัวเป็นภาษาไทยเริ่มเป็นภาษาไทยเลย
Let
นะ
us
คะ
introduce ourselves in Thai language. I am Saranya Pinvise. Glad to meet everyone. I start by being the customer of Herbalife 20 years ago. I control my weight 20 kgs. I want to graduate and look good. And then, I have been doing Herbalife with my partner for 22 years. My slide, please.
ผมชื่อกู้เกียรตินะครับมาจากประเทศ
I am Kukiat. I'm from Thailand. I used to be an engineer. I start from being a customer. I got great result from the products. So I decided to look seriously at the business part-time first, and I want to have my own business. So I decided to be full-time distributor. I have been doing business for 25 years, and I will do it for good. First, our business, we try to find a new customer and take care of them. We did not focus on other parts. We take care of the customer. We did not recruit anyone to be the distributors until the year 2024. Herbalife launched Herbalife Premier League program. So we decided to do business seriously. It might be a great opportunity to change our business, create active membership and new supervisors. And we were able to qualify 2024 Herbalife Premier League. At the end of last year in Thailand, there was the promotion about public goods. Usually we recruit about 10 members. With this promotion, we were able to recruit more members, and luckily we were the number one at the end of last year in Thailand. And now we use Flex 45 project in order to create the new characters for ourselves. And we need to do the activities of Flex 45 every day is to upgrade our business by creating our own new characters, and our team members also follow us. Last time, Rob Levy talked about the global distributor program. Rob said that he told us to use 100 conversations per month plus Flex 45 to help us to qualify Premier League again. Next.
ค่ะเราก็จะมาแชร์นะคะ
And we're gonna share what we learn from DDM. We play full out. We did what the company decided us to do from the first session about 100 conversation opening. Next, we decide the form in order to get 100 conversation in a simple way to make it like the daily routine, weekly routine, and we share this idea to our friends, our DDM group, and the next class about business flow. We did homework. We design our business flow from all the way to get the customer and take the customer through the pathway through supervisor. What step do we have to let them go through? What are the working steps? What are the scripts we want to develop supervisor so that we can have earn more royalty? We have all of these procedure for all of our friends in Thailand.
ความก้าวหน้าความคืบหน้า
And look
ของ
at
ปี
the
2025 ของเรา
progress
นะครับ
of our own
เดิมเราคิดว่าเรา
2025
ใจนะฮะที่
HPL.
เมษา
First, we thought we qualify for HPL in April, but we read the qualification wrong. We have one line of supervisor that he has not been active for a while. We follow up him and we could not count him in the year 2025. That must be a brand new supervisor. So we missed, but it's okay. We're creating one new line of supervisor, and we think we're gonna be able to qualify Premier League this month, and we're gonna qualify the second time, the third time, and we should be able to qualify for the roll-up program in Thailand. Next, we would like to share about participation in DDM. We have the group that we chat in our own Thai market. What we ought to do, that we have to be the standpoint for sharing the great ideas. The group space is not just us to send the homework, but it's a space for self-development, for sharing about 100 conversation, about collecting all the stats and sharing the flow. Let's say that we learn from Claire and Dan about breakfast budget club. We try to decide the daily work, weekly work, acquiring the new customer every week, and we also learn about 10-day marathon to share, and we share in this group about self-development books, including Flex 45 program. For each day, we do 7 activities, and we will summarize at the end of a day. We review ourselves and share for doing Flex 45 to inspire our peers in the group and our organization to see what we do to inspire them to do next. And let us recap for the DDM session 3. Last time, many people got the better result from entering the DDM. You can review your business flow on the survey, and you can see the clear picture of what you are still missing. We share this idea to our own team, our peer group in DDM, and next is going to be a very exciting moment because our fellows in APAC that got great results on sending the homework. Let's see what markets that got recognition, and let's help recognize the countries that have done the assignment very well. Let's look at the top 3.
The third place for general access, 67 points from Indonesia. Congratulations. And second place, 75 points from Taiwan, MG001. Congratulations.
และอันดับที่หนึ่งของกลุ่ม
And
General Access
the
นะครับ
winner
ก็คือ
in the first place
อินโดนีเซียอีกแล้วนะครับ
in General Access
คะแนน
Group
GT
is also from Indonesia, GT005. Congratulations,
ค
Indonesia.
รับและต่อไปนะครับจะมา
And next,
ร่วมแสดงความดีนะครับกับกลุ่ม
we
Charter
will
DDM Pioneer นะครับ
celebrate the DDM Pioneer, Charter DDM
188
Pioneers.
คะแนนนะครับจาก
On
ฮ่องกง
third
มาเก๊า
place
นะครับ
from Hong Kong and Macau,
ครับยินดีด้วยนะครับคะแนน คะแนนสูงมาก
MG001
นะ188คะแนนนะครับ
with
และอันดับที่สองนะครับ
188 points, very
192
good
คะแนน
score.
นะครับ
And the
จาก
second
โคเรีย
place,
นะครับกลุ่ม GT 013
192 points from Korea.
ครับ
Congratulations,
ยินดีด้วยนะครับ
CPGT003 from Korea.
สูงถึง
And
200
the
คะแนน
first
นะครับ
place,
มีทั้งหมด 5 ทีมด้วยกันนะครับ เดี๋ยว
there
เรามา
are
ดูทีมแรกกันนะ
5
ครับ
teams
อันดับ
that
ที่หนึ่งทีมแรก
achieved
ครับ
200 points.
ฮ่องกงมาเก๊า
The
นะครับ
first is from Hong Kong, Macau,
ยินดีด้วยครับ
MT001. Congratulations.
และทีมที่สองนะครับที่ได้อันดับหนึ่ง
And the second team who achieved 200 points is from Korea, GT001.
200 คะ
Congratulations.
แนนนะฮะทีมที่สามนะครับ
And the third
โค
team
เรียนะค
in
รับ
the first place
GT017
from
ครับ
Korea,
ยินดีด้วยครับ
GT001.
โอ้
Sorry,
เยี่ยมมากนะครับทีม
GT017
ที่สี่
from
เกาหลีอี
Korea.
กแล้วนะโคเรียนะครับ
And the fourth
GT001 ครับ
team
ยินดี
is
ด้วยครับ
also from Korea, is
และ
GT
ทีมสุดท้ายนะครับเกาหลีอีกแล้วนะครับโคเรียนะครับ
or PT001 from Korea.
นะครับ
And
ยิน
the
ดีด้วย
last
ครับ
one is PT003 from Korea as well. So congratulations from all the leaders, especially Korea, who achieved first place in so many teams. So congratulations all team from Korea, Indonesia, Macau, Hong Kong. Thank you for all your inspirations for being the leaders. And next, we have a very important moment, very exciting moment. In session 3, we learn about business flow and we interview Dan and Claire on BBC and business flow. And today, as Stefan said, we will learn from professional and masters in terms of business flow. So 1 hour from now, please pay attention, be focused, do not leave for restroom, stop talking to your customers because we are going to learn all the details about the business flow from the best, the master in this area. Please welcome Chairman Club member Radhika Makadrai and Stefan Graziani, the CEO.
We are here, as promised, with a very special session with Radhika. Yes, she's back. Her voice is 100% here now, and she has got some amazing content to take you all through. You know, it's first of all, I want to congratulate you all. I know that for many of you, you've never been in this type of a group before where, you know, number one, there's a lot of content that's coming your way. We're asking you to do some things that you've never done before. You were put into new groups and creating new relationships and, you know, basically interacting and interfacing with people that you've never interfaced before with. And so it is a totally new kind of situation and environment. The one thing that I just want to talk about is really our commitment is to empower you through the education, the understanding, the content that you need to be able to use it in your business to go grow bigger businesses. And obviously, Diamond Development, develop yourself into become president team members, and then developing lines of president team members. This is the goal of this group. And so, you know, number one, you're the first group to go through this. We know that a little bit of feedback after the first was that there was a lot of homework. You have to run your businesses. So yes, this is taking time out of your schedule. But the question really is, how much time should you be investing in your education to be able to become a better distributor, a better leader, and build a bigger business? So congratulations and thank you. So I don't want to take up any more time. It's really an honor and a pleasure to have her with us. You know, she has helped so many people. I mean, she's the one at the honors that's talking about DMOs and business flows. And, you know, she does this at the very, very high level. So to have her number one, where you all got the masterclass first, and now you're not only, did you get that? You're also getting her doing something that she hasn't even given to anybody else. So it's really one of the benefits of being a part of this mastermind. So let me introduce and welcome Chairman's Club member of the board with Herbalife, Radhika Makadrai. Radhika, welcome.
Yes. Hi, guys. My voice is back. Now you can really hear my real voice. Sorry for not being in the best shape, but that was the situation. I'm better now, and that's what's important. Thank you, Stefan, for the introduction. And truth of the matter is that our friendship throughout the years was evolving a lot around these topics that we always were asking ourselves. How can we generate a more quality process? How can we have better retention? How can we have more efficient business? How can we have a business which is predictable to build, where you understand what is happening is not just that something is happening and when you are reacting to what's happening, but you actually have an insight on what is happening. And you mentioned about the homework and people saying that they have a business to do, but all of you here want to become a president team. President team means that you want to scale your business. Scale from yourself to many. And when you have this desire and you have this intention to scale the business, that's meaning that you need to spend time working on the business, not in the business. There is a big difference between working on the business, meaning how to create all the conditions so you can scale. And scaling in our business means to duplicate, yes. And when you want to build a business which is duplicating, it's very important to take yourself out of the formula. Meaning when you build it for duplication in the right way, that's meaning that the duplication is happening with you or without you. And with you, and especially without you, means the true freedom and the true possibility to build this lifestyle where you have an income and you have a business formula which is taking care of itself, and you can really enjoy all the benefits. So what you are doing here is extremely important, and I know why it's difficult to work on the business, because in the business is easy. You know what to do, you know how to produce results, but here we are aiming at a higher level, completely higher level. And I would like to start my presentation, and I would like to, this is something which I always get, too much technicality. We need to go to the dream. We need to remember about the inspiration. We need to think about motivation. This is the only thing which is working. People need to know what the goal is, what the dream is. They need to get inspired. They need to be motivated. But I remember it was early in my business, one of the quotes of Jim Rohn. He said, when a person doesn't know what to do and it's motivated, it's just becoming a motivated fool. So it's very important. And I love this quote from Jim Rohn, because I used to be a motivated fool in the business. I was bursting from energy. I didn't know where to go. And then in the next period of time, I was really getting depressed because all this energy was not realized. And that made me think many, many years ago in the business. So what's happening? Why is that happening? Now, I would share my presentation right now. And just a second. Okay, so speaking of that, love is not enough. I just want to give you a comparison so you can understand what I'm talking about. And I like to give as many real life examples as possible, because actually everything what's happening in our business you can see in life, and you have these experiences in life. And when I say just love is not enough, or the mission is not enough, I wanted to think a little bit about the love of a mother for a child. There is nothing more beautiful and more inspiring than the love of the mother for the child, And you have this love, and you have this intention, and you have these incredible feelings, But what is the love of the mother? But the love of the mother is not enough, because you need to change the diapers. You need to go through the teeth breaking. You need to go through fever and the child getting cold. You need to feed him every day. You need to give him water. You need to bring him outside for a walk. You need to help him build first relationships. So if you would only state your love for your child and will not provide the rest of daily, absolutely sometimes boring things, and you will not do everything what's needed to do in a timely manner, you really cannot say that your love is doing everything. The same with the mission. If we have the mission and we understand the mission and we are here to change the world, and we are here to realize our dreams, but then we are not stepping into clear steps. And sometimes they're boring, and sometimes most times they're repetitive. And a lot of times they are not extremely creative. And by the way, too much creativity in our business is not good because it's very hard to duplicate. So here you understand that it's important to have this clarity. And, if we are getting to boil down, if we clear our intention of the mission part, and when we want to see, okay, if I take out the love part, if I take out the mission part, if I take out the inspiration part, what's left? And what's left is all of you want to become president team, and that's meaning that you want to build royalties, or you want to duplicate somebody who is making royalties. And when you look at the royalty formula and you strip it of all the emotions, which I'm not a non-emotional person. I'm actually a very emotional person. It's just that I a little bit separate one from the other. I'm very connected to our mission. The reason why I am in the company, because I actually from the beginning bought into the mission. I was supposed to be a psychologist. I was doing my PhD in psychology. And the reason why I started my study and I did my studies is because I wanted to help people. So when I came to Herbalife and I gave up my PhD studies, I gave that up because I saw an opportunity to help people on an even higher level than a psychology through Herbalife opportunity. And of course, realize some of my personal dreams. So I am a very emotional person, but when I'm going into the business part of because we say Herbalife business, this is not only, it's not a Herbalife NGO. In the end of the day, if you don't make money, if you not pay your bills, doesn't matter how big your mission is. You are going to be disheartened, you are going to be disenfranchised, and you will leave the business. So when we see the royalty formula, we see some three clear parts of it. Number one is a number of supervisors, which is a variable. Another one, the number of supervisors is multiplied by the volume points each of these supervisors are making. And then there is something which is also variable because it can be from 1 to 5. It's the royalty percentage. Now, when you look at the royalty formula, I remember this process. It was around the year 2000. Some of you maybe were not even born. So when I was looking at this and I was saying, listen, so if I'm just looking plainly at the royalty formula, what's influencing the variables? And starting from there, I started to look at what's missing and building brick by brick the flows and the systems and understanding things. And right now, I think you're very privileged because we were missing this knowledge back then, and we had to discover a lot of things for ourselves. But maybe some of you can take our knowledge and really, put it into practice and speed up your process. So the number of the supervisors is influenced by recruiting plan. And this is very important. You may have business flows which generate high volumes, but if they don't generate new supervisors, there's something missing because we are in a multi-level marketing business, okay? So you need to have recruiting plan and you need to produce supervisors. Now, having a new supervisors is exactly like having a baby. If you just declare the love for it and leave it there, it will literally die because you can have 1,000,000 supervisors, but if they produce zero volume, your royalties are going to be zero. This is just simple math, and volume per supervisor is what is the person producing after he qualifies as a supervisor. In 1999, I think I had this aha moment when I say, actually, when somebody qualifies as supervisor, my work only begins, because I need to make sure that this guy is producing volume, that he stays in the business, he makes money, and the promise of the opportunity becomes a reality for him. And this is my responsibility, because I, as a leader, stand in front at the business opportunity meeting or at the training, and I tell people, guys, you trust us because we are going to show you how to realize that. Now, when we think about, and also many times I get this kind of criticism, oh, Rodika, you're all about customers. And I tend to disagree, because if I would be only about customers, I cannot be a Chairman's Club member. Chairman's Club member, by all means that you have 5 president team lines. I have 17 first line top team, which we have built in our process. But that's meaning that we are doing recruiting, and that's meaning that we are developing people, and that's meaning that we are not only about customers. But when talking about supervisor productivity, what is easier to get to a new distributor? Is it easier to get a customer and some retail profit, or it's easier to get him royalties? And of course, it is easier to get him retail profit. So this is why having the customer journey as a base for your supervisor productivity buys you time, builds his trust in the business, gives him cash, and also somebody who can work with a customer base and have a customer base could go easier through some difficult times. Because if he didn't manage to have a new supervisor, or if he didn't manage to have a new distributor, or he had some part of his organization which left for some reasons, he has good productivity, and he can preserve his profits, and he can be steady. Now, number 1 is customer base. Second one is skill set. Because when we are designing our system, we need to understand that number 1, it needs to be a flow, which is a sequence of steps which bring us somebody from the customer to a productive supervisor, or from a distributor to a productive supervisor. But in order to bring a distributor to a productive supervisor, I need to keep in mind that 70% of my supervisors are not going to be leaders. So if I don't give them a customer flow, that's meaning that I am ignoring 70% of the potential in my business. And yes, the leaders are a driving force, and they are building the business. But for me, in my business, 50% of the business is done by the leaders, and 50% of the business of the volume is done by 80% of the distributors, of supervisors. So if I would ignore those supervisors who will never build an organization, I will have only half a business. But if I want to have somebody to produce volume, I need to also train skill set, because people come into our business, they are not entrepreneurs. Most of them don't have any sales experience. A lot of them are not good communicators. A lot of them don't have the right personality, and that's where we come with the personal development to help people evolve into a type of entrepreneur which is good for our business. And a lot of them don't have good organizational skills. They cannot organize themselves. They cannot plan. They cannot track. They cannot measure what they do. So all of these skills are extremely important to build on top of whatever technical issues we do. So understanding that is actually makes you understand why do you need a flow. Why do you need to lay down a path for somebody which will make much easier for him to understand what he really has to do, and then will give you the exact content for skills building in your organization. So I had this in my presentation, and I just want to tell you.
Radhika, just really quickly, just before you move on. So the formula, it's the number of supervisors times the average volume those supervisors are doing, right, times 5% royalty override on 3 levels, right? So,
Yeah.
Just thinking about this, if you have an organization, so if 200,000 organizational volume gets you the 10,000 royalty points, like just to kind of make it clear, if you only had 20 supervisors, you would need them to do an average of 10,000 volume points 3 months in a row to become president team, right? It's really about the number of supervisors that you have, and having, for example, 200 supervisors that do 1,000 volume points each on average, okay? That's different than having 10 clubs or 15 clubs that produce high volumes. It's an entirely different build. The business flow, how you bring people in, what they do, it's entirely different. I think that part of what, is beneficial in this exercise is that some people maybe have never built a flow that can bring in the number of supervisors and get them to be productive units of production, right? And I don't want to be non-emotional, because every supervisor is a person, they have a personal result. They've got people they're impacting. But as we look at this is just kind of the thing. And also, what is a safer, more solid business? 200,000 volume points based on the hands of 10, 15 people, or 200,000 volume points in the hands of 200 or 100 people or 150 people, right? So I want to call that out, because I think it's really important, what you've brought up here. And it is just a formula. It's for them to figure out how to build whatever number of supervisors, and you can raise the productivity per supervisor, right? That's one way of getting it, that you need less supervisors, but it needs a business flow, and it needs momentum, and like to build the numbers, right? And to have it done in a sustainable way. And so anyway, just wanted to call that out.
This is the key word, because I was waiting for you to finish, to call in the idea, which is another level of thinking, of sustainability. There are business models which have different sustainability, and the sustainability is meaning, how can I have better retention of the distributors, better retention of the supervisors, and ultimately better retention of customers, And what is the impact in the community? How much I'm using the resources of the community for a very short time, So having a customer, making one sale, and when I have so many customers, I cannot take care of them. And then I'm actually losing those customers. And when I go and I take another big number of customers, and I again lose them because there are too many and I cannot handle them. So there is many aspects to that. But what you're calling out is it's really important. And then the sustainability of the business model, again, is important. So only high volumes. Outside of the sustainability, the impact in the community where you work, because if you have very high numbers in a community, and then you cannot, because for me, the vision, I want to have an extraction machine, like this oil machine, to have somebody who can long-term extract volume from one place without exhausting the resources, without creating too much noise on the marketplace, but actually taking one place after another and put some sustainable ways of doing business. Okay, so now, as I said, even in that training, so the DMO, this is how I define it. You, by the way, anybody in this call, and we have president team and 30K and like 100Ks here, which, I also need to learn things from. But this is what I use in my way of thinking. So the DMO is the way we bring the customers and distributors and our value proposition. Basically, it's like how we get birth to a baby. When I do the Fit Club approach, I have one type of babies. When I do the a kind of nutrition club, which is focusing on food service, I have a different way, a type of babies. When I do a more traditional nutrition club, I have a different type of baby. Okay. Now the flow, now I just had a baby. When I brought the baby in, I just brought the baby. But when the flow is how I bring that baby to become a productive supervisors, And this is the steps and actions you need to go through to achieve that result. But also you have a lot of tools which you use to support your flow. What do you use to support lead generation? So what I mean, what tools, maybe you have system, maybe you have lead systems, maybe you have different ways of doing that, online, social media, flyers, whatever you use in your the way of doing business for your sales and the follow-up process. And these tools can be materials like flyers, speech books, PowerPoint presentations, or they can be event, Oftentimes we don't realize it. For example, an HOM is a meeting, an event which is supporting our flow. What it's doing is exposing people to the business opportunity. Customer days, feed club, culinary classes, whatever we use in our way of doing business or skin parties. These are all things which are actually helping our flow. And then I need to also have the training system. Now, why it's important to figure out the flow? Because your training system needs to cater specifically to your flow. And your training system is adding, apart from the teaching the people about the mission, contributing to their personal development, is adding the technical knowledge about the flow, and it's also building the skills. So when you have a total model, you have the totality of all this. And what I see in my experience, some people are very good in DMO, and this is what they say. I put the button on and I do use where talk, and I bring customers or I bring distributors, but it's not enough. We need to put them through a whole process until they become a productive supervisor. And for me, what is a productive supervisor? A productive supervisor is somebody who knows how to produce volume from all the dimensions of our business, which is meaning full retail, wholesale, and knows how to help somebody to become a supervisor, and knows how to teach somebody to be productive, how to do these three things. So it takes time until you develop somebody who independently can do that, and that's why you need all these processes. Now, again, this is my vision. What are the business flow elements? And remember, I will start with the customer first, but that doesn't mean that I cannot talk to somebody about the business directly. Because if I'm meeting somebody and that's a good prospect for the business, I'm going to talk to him about the business straight away, and maybe even bring straight away to the Herbalife opportunity meeting. But then I explain him that the base for his business needs to be focused on customers, because that's the best thing that they can build. And sometimes we can say, no, I want to have somebody who will be a leader, and I want him to go straight away into recruiting. And you have a very small percentage of those people who are natural recruiters, who are natural builders. But then that's meaning that you are depleting yourself from a much bigger chunk of people that are on the marketplace, which you will meet on a daily basis. And also, what is very important, even those strong leaders and strong builders, most of the people that they will encounter are not going to be the same. And if we don't have this part of the flow, we actually don't give a pathway to those people. So lead generation, whatever system you are going to choose, and I saw in the results of the survey that you on average use between 3 and 6 types of lead generation. Now, this lead generation needs to be connected to some value or a proposition or free service invitation, which is also going to be connected to the way you explain to the people about the products and the first sale you make, So here, it's very important that you are going to calibrate your value proposition with the first sale. So for example, if you are doing feed clubs and your value proposition is, I want you to come to tomorrow to this place, or next week, we're going to have a big boot camp, and you are going to participate for free at this boot camp. So that's the free service and value proposition. But when the person is coming, the first sale needs to be very well thought of in the business process. First of all, you don't want to bring people to the boot camp without thinking about what the first sale is going to be, because otherwise you are going to be volunteer providing fitness services on the market and not making money. And one of the things about the flow, it's very important that each stage of the flow needs to lead you to the next one. So if you invite somebody, come see, are you interested, for example, in healthy nutrition? Yes, I'm interested. That's great. That's my phone number. Call me. That's not enough. You need to finish your lead generation, your lead contact with the next step. Come see my club, my fit club, my nutrition club, my office. Come see me online for wellness evaluation. Whatever it is, there needs to be a process in which you are exposing the person to the next thing. Now, first sale, and then you have the first sale, which is meaning also what is the way you expose to the people to the concept. Is it a wellness evaluation? Is it a video you send and you explain your concept? Is it a personal presentation? Whatever it is, it needs to connect to the first sale, which makes sense for that person. Now, here is the follow-up and referral system. Your follow-up and referral system, which is part of referral philosophy, it's very important to be connected to the overall message that you are providing, you know? So whatever is needed for the people, for the promise you make and what you sell them, the follow-up needs also to go in line with it. If you work only with sports people, then you of course need to build the meal plans and everything which are for the sports people. Your first sale is the like the tea, you know, then people come and they have these first servings. Perfect. And you make a lot of volume in that. But then if you are not incorporating some extra steps, you actually have 100 people going into your club paying you $15, and at least 50 of them can pay you $200 a month. If you will do a follow-up system, and then you will do the next step, which is personalization. But coming back to referrals, why are referrals so important? Referrals should be a philosophy in the business, because referrals is easy business. Referrals help you build deep. Referrals help you make much better lead generation system. So whatever you build, you know, I know this in my group. I have people for whom is much better to go and do another 10 active contacts and get 5 yeses and do another wellness evaluation on a first scale instead of investing in the people and taking the referrals and building deep. But when you have this referrals philosophy, you are making your business much more grounded, much more rooted, and much easier to do. For us, for example, we have incorporated referrals at every stage. When I do lead generation, I say this is an invitation for 2 people. When I schedule the wellness evaluation and I tell them this is the invitation for 2 people. 2 of you can come to the wellness evaluation. When I'm doing the tour of the club, I explain them about the fact that they can recommend me people who would benefit from a wellness evaluation. Then I explain them that in the club we have the heart system, and for that they get free visits and different gifts. And when I explain them that they have a lot of benefits in the end of the wellness evaluation, when they can nominate some people who can have the same service. When I'm doing the follow-up, I'm all the time asking, who do you know? Who saw your results? And then after the first week, I explain them that for each referral you bring, you get 1 free visit. And then for 3 referrals you bring, you have 10 days 10 days memberships. For 5 referrals you bring into the club and they become club members, you will get a 30 days membership. So we give people gifts, we give them incentives, and at every step we are incorporating the referrals, asking for referrals, building the referrals. Now the personalization level, what does it mean? You have your first sale. Your first sale is opening the door for Herbalife. but you want your customer to use more products. How do you have the personalization reflected in your flow? We have it in certain ways. Number one, we have it when we work the crowd, when we work in the club, in the community, through third value validation, third party validation, people sharing results about different products. I know that during the time the person is in the club, I want to give them different types of products to try. I want to be very careful of his results to add products while he needs it. I have it on the 2 weeks re-evaluation to build him new products in consumption. When they become preferred customers, we have a virtual tour of the website where we tell them, okay, you became the preferred customer. Now let me show what your VIP shop, which is open 24 hours a day, every day. What do you have in your VIP shop? And then I will open each category of products and I will do a small presentation of that. So again, my interest is always to upsell the customer, to give him more products. Because if he's going to have more products, he's going to have better results. If he's going to have better results, he will refer more people. And of course, this for me is translating in having more business. And then exposure to business opportunity. There are extremes. There are people who only do exposure to business opportunity and talk only about the business, and they don't get this customer part of the flow in. But then there are people who are doing only working with the customers without exposure to the business opportunity. Now, if you are talented and you talk about the business, that's great. But then you will have people in the organization, which if you don't have a point in the flow, which is very clear that everybody need to go to be exposed to the business opportunity, you will have a lot of people not telling to the customers about the business opportunity. So whether you start with the exposure to business opportunity or you start with the customer, you will need to have this treated in your flow. And then somebody is becoming is listening to what is possible. How do you do a long-term PC? If somebody wants to become a preferred customer, how do you work with this person? What's happening afterwards? Because if you didn't personalize, maybe you need to include the personalization after the person is becoming the preferred customer. What do you need to do with the person so he stays long-term preferred customer? And then a distributor, he begins how you do the activation. So you say, you make a list of 100 people. And what do you do with those 100 people? Most of people will not talk about the business unless they make some money. So, okay, I can talk with them about the customers. I say, let's do 100 people. Let's talk with them about the products, at least part of them about the business. But then I need to show you how you can work with these people and be able to teach them to do that. Then what is the beginner plan? How do you activate your distributor? How do you build the supervisor qualification? Through building a customer base and building a distributor's base. And remember, you will have people that will not recruit. And you want to do this through customers and preferred customers so he can be productive. And that's actually bringing you to royalties. And in these elements of the flow, now they can be in different order, depending on what you do now. Just see if you have all the elements there. You will have to do this kind of working on the business part of your activity to find out how you move these blocks based on what you have right now. Yes. And remember about referrals philosophy, about the tools and event structure to support your flow, and the training system with the content for this flow. So if you have a certain flow, you want the people to be trained on the technical aspects of this flow. If you tell them there is 20 ways of bringing leads to the business and you don't teach them in a couple of them which are good for your flow, they will have the menu, but they will be lost. Now I want to tell that your flow needs to have then to be then a kind of a diagram. And in this diagram, you need to understand that we have laws of perception. If you are not a Japanese, Chinese, or Arabic, or a Jewish person, we read from left to right, yes, and from up down. You know, if you take Japanese, they write from right to left and from down up, for example. You know, so they will have another way of reading, and then the diagram should be built in a different ways. But for us, things need to be quite clear. So this is the flow we were doing during the pandemic, when we had to close our clubs. It was very rough in Romania. Everything, it was a very bad lockdown. So then we had to close the clubs and to think how we are going to work. And I have here lead generation. I have my next step is wellness evaluation, and first sale was the healthy breakfast. Okay, I was explaining everything about the healthy breakfast. I didn't have the possibility to weigh the people on the 10-liter scale, so we had to do a mathematical calculation of the BMI and somehow have a subject for discussion. Then they would go into customer development and marathons or challenges. And here I had some milestones, which you see the consumption. We will explain about the products, and we will explain about the preferred customer program. We will do the meal plan and personalization, and then we will upsell, we will personalize his plan. Now, the next was to bring him to the business presentation and to see whether he wants to stay a preferred customer and open him a preferred customer account, or he wants to become a distributor. And from there, I will ask him to choose, and then he can stay a preferred customer. And we have the preferred customer promotions and events, or he become a distributor. And when we have the milestone, first call, second call, third call, and then connecting him to the training system. And the arrows or red arrows between the distributor and long-term preferred customer is because our people can migrate. They can become distributors from preferred customer, and then they can move back as preferred customers if they don't want to do the business. And these are supporting events. And I'm teaching the people in my organization this. And when there is a standard flow and everything is well documented, when you get duplication and you build momentum, because everyone is doing the same, everyone is talking the same, at any moment, everyone knows what is the next step. And this is creating this momentum and the compound effect of the efforts. Now, this is another example of the flow. It's going from left to right. It's color coded. You have heard the guys. Now we are working on these flows because we are implementing the flow of breakfast budget clubs. And again, each bubble is an action. Each arrow is a checklist. And this is what you teach your people. And when you have you show them what to do in the bubble, and you provide them with the checklist. Again, easy to read. Sometimes people do very creative, very colorful flow charts, and they have arrows in all directions. You need to keep things clear, not too many details, and the clarity, how the people, what is the pathway and how people are moving on the pathway. Now, talking about documenting, this is very important. That here what are the documents? These can be scripts, which can be PowerPoints. These can be pitch books, documents, videos. So we have everything documented. This is one of the things we have, which is called the protocols day by day. So we have 2 weeks induction program every day, first day, second day. We have checklists, what the people need to do. They don't need to think what they need to do. They need to read. If everything is prepared, that the only thing that people are left to do, to execute, to go and work, Here we have on day 4 or 5, we have the discussion about the privileges, because here we work on the referral system. We want to explain people what are the business of bringing referrals. Yes, this is how we explain them about how to build the business. And also this day 4th conversation, or the first week conversation, it has versions, because we are evolving and we are entertaining and maintaining these materials. And maybe you don't agree with the design, and I'm absolutely 100% sure that there are people who are much better in the design. But in the end of the day, all of this works because it's well thought of how to progress with the people on the other levels. So what you need to understand is that we want to have this zero energy loss rule. Yes, your average supervisors needs to spend zero energy asking the question what to do and how to do it. Your way of working needs to provide him answers to everything. This is what you do, and this is how you do it. He needs to have full access to all the assets and be trained extensively, because I am telling him you need to do a wellness evaluation, but he needs to build the presentation skills. How do I build presentation skills? Tell, show, try, do. I do the video recordings. I do the role plays. I am measuring and tracking what he's doing. So this is building skills, is not just explaining people. And 100% of the energy they need to spend on being in action and productive. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you organize the things? And you can do the things on different levels. I will show you right now what we are doing. It can be more sophisticated, but of course, I'm a chairman's club. Stefan, do you see the screen right now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we have our website for the organization. Every distributor, we check him with his ID, is going to have access to this website. So if I'm sleeping, or I'm traveling to Los Angeles for a board meeting, or I'm training in another country, or I'm just relaxing, my supervisor has a place, my distributor even has a place where he can go and have all that details. So here's, for example, the flow, the heart program, the explanation of the junior junior partner, and everything. What is important for our flow? You can have it completely different, because everyone in his flow is explaining the business in a certain way. And then he can download here all these documents if he needs them for the pitch book, or if he needs them to show. Then here we have recordings about here we have the part which is about invitation. We have here the recording of the Lee Duffy, the president team from the UK, the training on invitation, which he did in Romania in April. And then I have another thing which is called to be a professionist in lead generation. And here I have a video how to invite from the circle of influence. And then I have a script here, how to invite from the circle of influence. And yeah, how to invite to the Fit Club, and script here. And how to invite to a cooking class, script here. And all the types of different types. We have role plays. We have the best of the best people doing that. So when somebody wants to say, okay, I don't want to work with this, or I don't like this, but I like that, he doesn't only have the menu, but he has everything to build the skills. Here is the evaluation. Again, I showed the people where is the thing. I have the recording, the introduction, which explains the evaluation, and the recording of a live evaluation done in the club. And when I have the evaluation checklist, and then I have the pitch book, and I have the evaluation card, and when I have the membership card here, and then I have the heart program here, and then I have here a part which is helping people to handle the objections, and so everything. And then I have the induction period. I have the video about that, and when I have all the things about how to why you need to come long term to the club, what are your benefits, what is the protocol, what is the measurement?
So Radhika, I'm going to stop you, because I think I think they get the point. So guys, on this one, and obviously Radhika has built her system, her training system, everything documented. And, when we were talking to Dan and Claire, I was asking, like, what about your process, your steps? They've got their 12 steps. You can go as sophisticated as you want. You can go as simple as you want. The key is to have it, right? The key is
and the team to have access to it, because you can have Telegram folders. You can have WhatsApp groups where you publish the materials. You can do it in boards. We have also everything in boards. It doesn't matter what type. Maybe you have some other smart apps which I don't even know about. But the key is to have the content documented and have your team, every member of your team, have access not to Herbalife, to my Herbalife website, where everything is generic, very nice, but very generic, but to your particular flow and your particular specific details.
So one of the things, if we go back to the royalty formula, right? So number of supervisors times average volume times 3 levels, right? 5% getting to build the royalty check. You just have to think in terms of, if you wanted to have 200 supervisors that had all the same skill level, right? And people will have some people are stronger in talking to people. Some people are stronger in presenting. Some people are stronger in closing. But if you're educating everyone with the steps and all of the steps, and they have access to the education, right? Then you can start to see that building an organization, and obviously the flow being designed, prospects to customer conversion, to PC to distributor, to starting distributor, to helping people get to supervisor. But you can start to see that actually having an organization of 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 people, when they all have the same steps in training and it's documented and the flow's documented, it's really critical. And so one of the things that I just want to bring one point to is, some of you're at the beginning of figuring out your flow. Right? I mean, actually, you're seeing Radhika, she had her flow before, but then the Breakfast Budget Club was really in line with what she was already doing. And now she's taking that flow or elements of it and adopting it into her organization. Some of you right now, you don't have a flow where you say, like, I know we can produce those results. When we had Dan and Claire here, this was not about you taking Dan and Claire's business flow. It was about understanding you need a flow, and you need to document the flow, and you need all of these steps. That's why we're taking the time to do this. But I want to share one element that's really important, because some people want the perfect flow. And before they actually put into action, they're trying to get it all figured out and have it be perfect. And actually, there is no perfect flow. What's important is to come up with the flow and to start it, and over time to follow and optimize the flow. And so there's one element that's really important, because some of you're going to be the ones that are going to create the flow. And you've got your kind of little group of people, the 3 or 4 people that know you, they're ready to do it with you, they want to do it with you, and you're going to start with them. And what's really important is that when you start and you start to document and everyone starts to do the same thing, there's something kind of magical about it. Because, by the way, if you have one person doing the business and they're doing whatever they're doing, you can't judge whether it's good or bad, because there's nothing to judge it by. But if you have 2 people, they're doing exactly the same flow, and we know they might do things a little bit different. When they go and prospect, they talk a little bit different. They're a bit entrepreneurial. They're going to add a little bit of flavor, a little bit of things. When you have 2 people doing the same flow, you can judge the results against each other. One gets more people to come to the club because they do better at the conversation. One of them is converting more people into customers, because now you have 2 people doing the same thing. If you have 10 people doing the exact same flow, magic starts to happen, because there's some deviations that are the small ones that can make a difference. And now all of a sudden 10 people are out prospecting, but one of them is an outlier. The others get on average 2 out of 10 to show up to the club. This one gets 5 out of 10. And now all of a sudden, what is the person getting 5 out of 10? And when you can generalize that and optimize it for the whole group, now you can start to have a very powerful flow. And so
you can cross-pollinate. You cross-pollinate
the ideas and everything. So number one, there is no perfect flow. create the flow, put it into action, get as many people doing the flow as possible, and then tracking the flow and optimizing the flow is important. Not like you create it and throw it into the universe and some people do it and you say, now it's done. It's a never-ending, evolving, dynamic situation. So I just wanted to throw that out.
I think that's very important. Thank you for bringing this idea. And now some of you can think, okay, I have this missing and I have no idea what to do. And this is where the magic again happens. And this is where the creativity should work. Because I'm literally sometimes having a situation. So I have these two parts of the flow. I don't know how to connect them. And I start thinking, how can I connect them? And I start inventing and trying conversations. And I start asking people around, so how do you do this? How do you do this? And this is a creative process which you are going to have to go through. And you have to invent actually the missing parts. Maybe you can borrow them from other flows, but then make sure they are fitting with everything that you have before and after. Some things you need to invent. So for example, today, Claire and Dan are doing the 2 weeks induction period, but they don't know that the 2-week induction period now they know. It was invented by me in 2016 when I was trying to make an organization which is used to sell the products at home to sell the membership instead of products. And I built this for the team and tell them you enroll people for 2 weeks to come on a daily basis. And then that's how the people could swallow it. It turned out to be absolutely a genius thing because this really helped us keep the people in the club, make them come earlier. But I didn't have that idea. I just had to invent it. Some of the ideas are invented by my people. So how do you do that? How do you do that? Exactly like Stefan said, some are outliers. So you take that idea and say, guys, we found the solution for this step of the flow. And that's a never-ending process. As you see in 2022, I was doing, 2021, we were having an online system. In 2022, basically 2023, we started to implement the breakfast budget club. So it's always changing, always evolving. And that's the part of us leaders working on the business, not only in the business. So in order for you to understand whether you have all the components of the business flow, this is a kind of a diagnosis template for you. And then you go by, and I told you, you can, if your flow right now has it in a little bit different order, perfect. If you want to split them in 2 different flows, one for customers, one for distributors, perfect. But they need to connect at some point because every distributor needs to have a customer base in order to have a stable foundation for the business. And then go and see if you have clarity about what are the actions or events you have for each of the things. Yes, like I said, for example, when you say the value proposition, you say, okay, so for the value proposition, I have a free Fit Club activity. Okay, so I have actions and events, and then do I have a script how to invite to the next boot camp? Do I have a video how to do that? Do I have it in the training? Which part of the training is teaching people how to invite? The same with the first sale, the same with the follow-up and referral. So you see, do you have this bubble like action? Or do you have an event which is serving for that? Yes. And then do you have the materials how to do the action and how to work with the event? And where exactly in the training you are teaching that people, you are teaching and you're building those skills and you're teaching people about that particular thing. So for us, for example, we we train in the academies because we work with the Nutrition Club. Nutrition Club is a very hands-on training, meaning that you train while you are in the Nutrition Club. So the level of try and do is very high. So then we will have the academy. Each academy is going to train on a different bubble and the checklist. And then we will make sure, of course, that we have the role play and people can understand that. Apart from the fact that they can find and we will explain where to find all the materials to study by themselves if they want to come back to that. So that would be our academy. Each other meeting is going to teach a different topic from the flow in this order. And then we will have elements of recognition, and we will have elements of personal development. And we will have big events where we will work on the motivation and the vision of the people. So we don't have only the academies. We have the academies, we have the LGWs, we have our summer spectacular and kickoff and active supervisors training. We have all this structure of trainings where we come with the rest of the content, like personal development, how to organize yourself better, all of this motivation, inspiration, recognition, all of these aspects, and it creates the whole system of work we have. So I think that what would be good for you to start is to start with the diagnosis, to see how are you seeing what is happening right now, what's missing, what needs to be built in, and of course to look a little bit at your flow and to look at the chart of your flow to see whether you have clarity in the way it's explained. So that would be it, Stefan?
Very good. Yeah, thank you, Radhika. I know it's late there. It's probably close to midnight or 11 o'clock p.m. for you. So thank you so much for joining us. Incredibly valuable. I know everybody is ears and eyes open, and just thank you for your contribution.
I just wanted to thank you for this initiative because we are writing history right now, guys. We are bringing so much professionalism to our business, and that's so important. This is important for the future of our company. This is important for the future of our industry. So congratulations for being in this mastermind, doing the homeworks and working on your business, not only in your business.
Thank you. Wow. I love that, by the working on your business, just not in the business. So, guys, look, I know it's a lot. I know, again, through video, and hopefully you're watching this not just on your phones, but on the computer, or you've got it in the screens or something on a big TV, so you can really take it in as if you're here. Remember, there's no perfect flow. Some of you already sent some of your flows to us before this training, and we got all different types of flows. There's no judgment on flows. Now you've got a little bit more information. So some of the flows that you sent that we asked for initially, you'll probably change up a little bit, because now you have a little bit of a deeper understanding of what goes into a flow, how to build a flow, not down, right, up, down, whatever. It's like there's certain elements that are important, okay? There is no perfect flow chart. Don't worry about it. What's important is that you start documenting it. And what we're tracking and what our commitment is that we're watching over time how the evolution of your businesses are going, right? So how this is impacting your personal production, how this is impacting your organizational volume. And this is a journey. Like, there's no time limit to when you make it to president team. There's no time limit for when you get the next diamond. This is not something that we're doing and then it's ending at the end of the year. This is an ongoing process. And so, yes, we've spent and are spending time on DMO. We will move on to other things, but we need to make sure everyone has a DMO and a business flow and a documented process, because that's how you're going to create the duplication and the scale and the momentum that you want to have in your business to grow and get to the next level. And so we've got to work on that process. So, number one, appreciate all of you. It's really inspiring. I'm super excited to be participating. Also, Eric is super excited to be participating. You're going to have, and since we've been really focused on flow specific to Herbalife, we've been kind of leading here. He will be also participating. So you're going to be hearing more from Eric, and then maybe also some surprises as well from other people. But super excited to be here. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Stefan and Radhika.
Thank you, Stefan and Radhika. Thank you very much. And next, we will have a recap of the session 4. What information have we learned? We will spend a little less than 5 minutes. So we will recap from what we learned from the 1-hour session. First, be proactive. Don't be passive. You have to be proactive in your business. You have to ask yourself whether your process is replicable. how you have to focus on how to grow your royalties. So the royalty formula is the number of supervisor multiplied by volume point of each one by the royalty percentage. And what is very important is that you have to have your referral system incorporated in your system. And Radhika showed that referral is incorporated in each step of her flow. So she has to teach the supervisors, develop supervisors. We need to document everything, the scripts, the process. So the new people that come in the flow will know what they have to do. They will have clear idea of what steps they have to take and how to make that steps. And all those documentation has to be accessible. There are website. We have sheets, information sheets, checklists, Q&A, and script. Probably to train new people, you can train them by involving them in role play. And Stefan also said that Claire and Dan have 12 steps when they develop a new customer. So each person may have different process. There is no perfect flow. What important is we review our flows and fine tune it and make it better for your business. There may be some steps in your flow that are not linked, so we have to review it and make it better. Okay, so that's from Saranya's. I think every one of us have learned something from this event, and the two of us, we also noted things that we have to improve in our soul. We are so excited. We can imagine if the flow is perfected or the flow is improved and we can follow this flow, the business will be on fire, both in Thailand and in international markets. So there are 3 assignments from this DDM session 4. So the first assignment is to review the business flow you created in your previous assignment. The business flow that you have created in the previous session, we have to review it against the information we learned today. And assignment number 2 is to meet with your accountability group to discuss Radhika videos and exchange feedback on each other's business flows. By exchanging ideas in accountability group can help accelerate the review process and the fine-tuning of your business flow. And this is teamwork as well. I've heard that many teams are doing great, sharing ideas and interacting within the groups, but perhaps there are teams or groups that are not very active or very interactive. So please take this opportunity to discuss with people within your accountability groups and fine-tune your flow. Assignment number 3 is you have to share the key takeaways from Radhika's video that are most relevant to your business. And these are the 3 assignments for this session 4. The due date is 22nd of July, 2025. Please don't miss this deadline. Please submit your assignments by 22nd of July. So today we are very excited to be moderating this session, and please forgive us if there's any mistakes. Thank you everyone. See you in the next session. Goodbye.